Hello everyone, it's your options guy. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to talk about Coinbase, and I'm excited to talk about Coinbase because I actually put in a lot of money into it. So it kind of feels like buying a new car somewhat. So you get all excited when you finally uh, start doing your investing into like a stock that you've been looking at for a couple weeks or a couple months because you weren't sure whether to get in or wait it out. And I finally decided to get in. So I'll go over a lot of stuff today. So I'll basically go over the forecast of Coinbase. I'll cover basically my thoughts and opinions of why I think you should buy it. I'll even cover why I think it will eventually or inevitably be added to the S&P, and then when it does, it's going to shoot up even more. And then I'll also cover basically what's going on with ARK and how much they have bought Coinbase, and why I think that's also like somewhat important to the consensus or sentiment of Coinbase. I'll also cover any recent news about Coinbase. I'll compare Coinbase to one of my other favorite stocks, which is Palantir, and I'll compare it based on like valuation and stuff, and just to show you guys kind of like where Coinbase is sitting at right now. And then of course, since I'm your options guy, I'll talk about the options that's going on with Coinbase. So if you're new to the channel, I basically talk about stocks that I'm basically invested in or I'm doing some trades in. So if you hear me talking about it, I'm most likely doing some trades or setting up a long-term position with it. So yeah, if you wanna follow with my trades or my positions, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll even showcase my portfolio at the end. I'll basically show you guys basically my whole portfolio, what I'm doing and what I plan to do. But yeah, let's get back to the beginning. So Coinbase, let's go right here. So as you can see on the forecast side, based on 14 analysts offering a 12-month price target for Coinbase in the last 3 months, the average price target is 388. So that's actually pretty high compared to where it is right now. So it's showcasing that it has a potential of 61% upside. So the lowest analyst, I believe, had it at 225, the highest analyst at 650, and that's pretty high, but especially within like a 12-month period, I don't know, but you never know, right? Because what if Bitcoin actually ends up going to 100k like as expected by the end of the year? Then that may actually happen. So a couple of things. So first of all, I think Coinbase will eventually be added to the S&P 500. So in order to get added to the S&P 500, you have to meet a certain some certain conditions. So one of them is you have to be a U.S. company, which it is. You have to have a market capitalization of at least 11.8 billion. As of right now, I believe it is sitting at 52.8 billion, so it's well above that. And then also it says it has to be highly liquid, which it is, have a public float of at least 10%. I think it has about 50% right now, and its most recent quarter earnings and the sum of its trailing 4 consecutive quarters have to be positive, basically. So as of right now, Coinbase just had one recent earnings report, and it was super positive. It was like way over here, and so it just needs to maintain like 3 more quarters of being positive, and then it basically already kind of like meets most of the other conditions. So I feel like eventually it will get added to the S&P 500, and when it does, like, I don't know if you guys were there during when Tesla got added to the S&P 500, but basically caused like a lot of hype, and that caused the price to surge. And then when it was actually added to the S&P 500, it surged a little bit more because of the size of the market cap. The S&P had to basically allocate a certain amount or a certain percentage to Tesla. So that means it basically had to buy a lot of shares. So that's kind of where I'm getting at. And I feel like something very similar, not as crazy or epic as Tesla, but I feel like something very similar to what happens to Coinbase. So yeah, anyways, so let's get back to, that's the forecast. And basically I think it's a good forecast, and let me show you why I think it's powerful, or Coinbase has a lot of power in what it does, basically. So as you can see here, So here's some IPO facts based on this person that posted it. So it says here 56 million users compared to 32 million in 2019. So it's been growing in users substantially. The company used a direct listing for its IPO, which means there was no money raised. So that's showing like strong financials off the bat. Coinbase gets 96% of its revenue from transaction fees right now. So this, I think, is one of like the most important things, where like almost all of its revenue is from transaction fees right now. So a lot of bears, or like the typical bear case, is saying that the transaction fees are way too high, and that a lot of brokerages and stuff like that, like Robinhood and like Webull, they're offering like, you know, like quote unquote free commission and stuff like that for trading, but like Coinbase charges like certain percentages depending on what plan you're on and everything. So that's like their typical bear case, but I feel like it's also like a strong bull case, because they're charging you fees because it's meant to be like, you know, the most secure platform for trading crypto. And especially with like a lot of money, like there's big players that buy large sums of crypto and like sell large sums of crypto, so they want to make sure that goes through. So I feel like they wouldn't care about the transaction fee as much, as long as, you know, like it has that sense of security, right? So anyways, it says here next step is credit cards, which make up 50% of sales in the next 5 to 10 years. So that would be pretty huge. Now these next 2 points are probably like these next 3 points are also really important. So the company said revenue climbed more than 9-fold from a year earlier to an estimate of 1.8 billion. So that's huge. So their last quarter in like revenue, they made 1.8 billion. So I wanted to bring that up, and the reason why I wanted to compare Coinbase to Palantir is because Palantir, if you see here, Palantir has a market cap of 45.39 billion. So Coinbase is 52.8. So as you can see, it's not that far off in terms of like the valuation of the company. However, Palantir just recently in their last quarter, I think they made just over 300 million in their last quarter in revenue, and they're expected to make a little bit above a billion for the forecasted year. So if Palantir and Coinbase are almost worth the same as of right now, however, Coinbase basically made more than like double of what Palantir is expected to make last quarter. That's just showcasing how I believe Coinbase as of right now is kind of like undervalued. So you should kind of like take that into consideration if you're thinking of buying Coinbase, or if you're already in a Coinbase, and then that just gives more power to your bull thesis. So yeah, Coinbase really strong last quarter, 1.8 billion in revenue. That's basically more money than Palantir has made in revenue than it will make probably within this year. So that's really huge. All right, so now let's talk about net income. So it says net income climbed to between 730 million and 800 million. So that's also really strong, because that's net income, basically like what they take home, you know, after like everything and paying off their operations and all that. So 730 is huge, because again, that's already showcasing that they're like making good money. They're already in the plus side right off the bat, right off IPO. So it's looking really great for them to be added to the S&P 500 like a year from now. And then last point says larger than the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq combined. So I think this is talking about like, in terms of market cap. So it's pretty huge. But I could be wrong on this last point. But yeah, so those are just some quick facts. So now let's take a look at how much ARK has in Coinbase. So when Coinbase first came out, ARK started buying pretty heavily, even at the top from like the 400s, and then pretty much every day they've been buying, except like I think this past week I think they finally stopped buying. But as you can see, they've established Coinbase like within its top 10 of this ARK Holdings Innovation ETF. They also have Coinbase in like 2 other ETFs that belong to ARK, I believe. But as you can see here, they basically have millions of shares and almost getting close to billions of dollars invested in Coinbase. And this is just from one ETF. So, you know, there's 2 other ones. So yeah, it's definitely like top 10. And then again, comparing it to Palantir is right here, number 14. So basically, this is just showcasing that ARK has strong conviction within Coinbase, and obviously not as much as Tesla, but you know, it's definitely up there. And ARK keeps saying that they foresee Bitcoin being 500K. You know, as long as like the institutions start buying, like even if they allocate 5% to Bitcoin or crypto, then it's gonna rally Bitcoin a lot. And then again, those transaction fees are Coinbase is gonna eat up on those profits. All right, so let's just talk about the recent news that has been happening. So recently, they've added Dogecoin to their platform. However, I think you can only trade it with Coinbase Pro. So that actually caused the search for Dogecoin, and that's the most recent good news. I guess the most recent bad news is that they have this class action lawsuit, I believe, about some investors losing their money, and it's telling them to like contact their firm. But honestly, I think this is like something that's typical, especially within brokerages nowadays and with stocks in general. I feel like you get this lawsuit every now and then, and I don't think it's like a big deal. But anyways, that shouldn't like, you know, hurt the stock, in my opinion. All right, so now we take a look at Coinbase. It's sitting right at 240 exact. Market manipulation, am I right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so if you take a look at its past month, actually it's past 3 months, so it just IPO'd like about like a month and a half ago, and it shot up to a high of like 400 something, and then it came back down, and then it's just been going down ever since. But lately it seems like it's somewhat consolidating now. Like it's been consolidating since May 25th, so just consolidating right there. It seemed like it hit a strong support down here around the 217s, 220 area. However, it seems like it's coming back up now. So yeah, so as you can see, I bought in. Basically I threw down like around 24,000, and I think, yeah, my average is 242. So I bought 100 shares. It's about 30% of my portfolio right now, and I actually bought this using like a good chunk with margin. So overall, I feel like pretty bullish on Coinbase. I feel like, yeah, it may dip a little bit more here and there, but I feel like it's already like consolidating. Obviously, if the whole inflation fears come back, then it may cause, you know, this high growth type of companies to come down. No one really knows, but then again, it could also just well be above 300 like a year from now. But anyways, yeah, so I just recently bought it, and it's in the 100 most popular. And yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. And then let me show you guys the options that came in today. So for today, it's kind of interesting because these options, there was only 2 of them, but the 2 that did come in, or these are the premium options, by the way, meaning like $25,000 or higher. So the ones that did come in today, they bought like out the money. So meaning they feel like it's gonna jump up higher in price compared to buying it in the money. So someone right here is saying, you know, it'll be at least 250 by 9/17. Someone here is saying it'll be 275 by this expiration. So that's somewhat of like a dumbed down version of looking at this if you don't know about options. But yeah, so that's basically what came in. And then here's my overall portfolio. As you can see, I just added coin right here. I do have ARK. I'm not big on ETFs, but if I were to choose an ETF, I would pick ARK. So I do have ARK, and one of the reasons I got ARK is because I do like a lot of their stocks, and I, instead of separating all my money into like Tesla, Square, and like Coinbase and Palantir, I decided to just buy ARK. But I did put more money in Palantir and Coin. And then I have AYX and SoFi that recently IPO'd as well. Check out the videos that I've been talking about for these in my channel. And yeah, so let me know what you think. Let me know if you're in Coinbase now, or if you're thinking of getting into Coinbase now that you've looked at this video, now that I've kind of covered like a good like or summary. I wrapped up like a good summary of like the bull case and everything. So let me know in the comments if if you're thinking of buying more, or if you're already in, or if you're a bear, like why are you a bear, and stuff like that. So again, coin is just barely getting started. I think it's barely, just as of right now, it's mainly making money just off transactions, but I feel like it's establishing itself as a good platform to start selling other types of services to their basically their millions of users. And I believe Coinbase is kind of like universal in a way. So there's users, it's not just like US users, it's like users like globally, I should say. So yeah, it's definitely established itself as like the number one type of like crypto exchange, and best security type of deal, right? So yeah, anyways, let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the